Today we're gonna make two things, but quick and easy because I don't want hubby to die of starvation, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a throw it all in a tray, right? Like how many times does life just throw a bunch of stuff at y'all and you just, sometimes you just gotta slow roast this thing, right? So I got some sausage here. I'm gonna use some beef sausage. I'm trying to stay away from pork. So I have been on this kick with Rochelle T. Parks, right? And she is always talking about God's food. And so I want to make sure that I honor that as much as possible. Now I have these little flies around because hello, Texas, right? Bugs everywhere all the time. So excuse me if I'm swatting. All right, so beef sausage it is, right? So we're going to throw all of this stuff in a pan. I'm going to do a onion, sausage, potato, roasted in the oven, and then we're gonna make a salad to go with this, okay? So I'm cutting this on a diagonal, okay? Just because I like the length of it and I like how it looks, okay? But you can cut it however you want. It's your kitchen, this one's mine, right? So potatoes, I got these little Yukon Golds. They're small, but they got a little size to them. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut them in half and then cut them again, right? And we're gonna get these bad boys into a 400-degree oven. I went out to my little raised bed and I got some herbs here. So I am really trying to get this dish done. I think this will take about, let's say about 20, 30 minutes. Let's say 30 minutes into the oven at 400 or 425. Probably do 425 since my hubby got home from work and I didn't have dinner ready because I was too busy trying to make everything perfect. Okay, y'all know what it's like, right? Always trying to make everything perfect. And what happens when you're trying to make everything perfect? It takes you a long time. And I should know better, right? Because as a coach, this is one of the things I go through. And I'm always talking to my husband about it. Like, oh, but it needs to be perfect, but it needs to be perfect. And no, it doesn't need to be perfect. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't, right? So I'm trying to stop trying to be perfect about everything. But at the same time, I want it to be nice because you guys are important to me. And this is important to me. And sometimes we just need something that's going to be satisfying and quick and easy. And, you know, life can be hard enough. Let's not make it hard in the kitchen, right? That's why this is the purpose-filled kitchen, because I wanted to make sure that you guys know that we cook with purpose, right? There is a purpose. There's a purpose for your life. There's a purpose for what we do. There's a purpose for food and nourishment to our bodies, nourishment to our minds, nourishment to our souls, right? God is important. All of these amazing things and all the stuff that God gives us to just truly enjoy. This is fresh thyme from the garden and it is so nice and fragrant. As I'm breaking it open, it's hitting my nose and I can smell it. It's delicious. All right, so we're gonna throw some herbs in here. I just got some rosemary and thyme. That's all I'm really gonna use. All right, and then we're gonna use this onion here. So when you're cutting an onion, for those of you who are maybe just getting into cooking or don't really know how to cook, wanna learn, this is amazing. So onion, when you cut off the root, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I left the root, all right? I just took out the little piece here, right? But I left the root there so that when I cut this right now, I'm gonna cut this into wedges and I wanna make sure that it actually stays intact, that it doesn't come completely falling apart, right? So is this first one. I don't like the way this first one looks. I'm just gonna take the whole first layer off because I don't like the way that looks. Okay, so into an diagonal, right? So if you cut it this way, you're gonna see that I take a little piece of the root, all right? So cut it on an angle, and see how my knife is tilted, right? That's because sometimes life can be crooked, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work, right? It absolutely works. So go ahead and peel your onion. I'm just gonna take this top layer off because it has a couple of like darker spots on it and I wanna make sure that I don't put that into our food, right? Very important that we do things properly. So everything goes into this. Look, very easy, very simple, okay? Look at that, all nice and easy. This is gonna go right into the pan. This is gonna be amazing because this beautiful beef sausage, if you guys are interested, is called opas. right? And all I'm gonna do is take this beef sausage and I'm gonna let the juices of that beef sausage cook into the potatoes and the onions. It's gonna be delicious. I actually think I wanna throw a couple of pieces of garlic in here. So I got some beautiful, beautiful garlic, which I am going to take a big chunk of this and I'm going to put it in my garden because I want to have garlic for next year, right? And that's the other thing, like don't throw away things that you think are garbage, right? Because a lot of times what you're thinking is, oh, it's no good, it's not good enough. That's not true. You can create something else with it. So for example, like all of these scraps here, right? All of these scraps and the herbs that are left over, which I usually have my garbage bowl right there. Thank you so much. There's my garbage bowl. I usually take scraps like this, I'll put them together, and then all I'll do is I'll go and I will make some stock out of it, right? So you can make a nice, beautiful veggie stock out of it. And so I think I want to do another piece of garlic. And all I'm doing with the garlic is I'm smashing it, right? So smash, take the skin off. That's all I'm doing. If you want to cut it, you can, but I kind of hit this bad boy pretty good, so I don't need to do that. Hit it here. Take off the skin. I know that people have different ways of doing this, right? Whether it's putting it in 2 metal bowls and shaking it to death, and all the things, right? All the things that we do, especially if you go into a search. What is going on with this garlic? This looks weird. Okay, what did I do with that? If you go into like a search in like a TikTok or Instagram, it's amazing, all of the amazing food that people are doing out there. It is so impressive. And I'm so grateful that people are finding cooking to be so just connective, right? Because one of the things that I love about food is the fact that you can connect with so many people from so many walks of life. You know, recently I was doing this amazing project with a great organization out here in Austin. And I was doing this, organization was doing a cohort in which they teach culinary to people who are underprivileged, right? Or not served. They're an unserved community. And so I was the instructor, and I will be again because they love me, I love them, so it's been amazing. And the great thing about it is that you can actually pour into people's lives that maybe don't have anybody, get out of here, don't have anybody pouring into their lives. And that was honestly one of the best experiences in my career. And I have been in culinary for about 15 years, and I've done amazing things and amazing work and worked with amazing families and organizations, but this was the most rewarding. And I think it was because even today, now the program's been over since May, and today I just got a text from one of the people saying, oh my gosh, Chef Neena, I have my second interview at a restaurant. And my heart was so full. I could cry about it right now, actually, because that is so cool, right? Like somebody who never, ever was in the industry, just always wanted to learn how to cook, always wanted to be in the industry, but didn't know how to get in. And we helped them write their resumes, and we helped them, I did a whole curriculum, a whole accelerated curriculum, right? So that they can learn the basic techniques that they would need in order to work in a restaurant kitchen. And I cannot tell you, I was telling my husband, because every time I would come home, he's like, how's work? And every day I'm like, it is the most rewarding thing I have ever done. It is the most rewarding thing. And I can't, it's so much fun. And that's actually what inspired me to be on here with you guys, right? Because if you start taking a step towards what it is that God has called you to do, you'd be amazed at the doors that he opens. Amazed at the doors that he opens. Now, me and my hubby have been going through some things, not me and him personally, but just, issues and finances and, paying this, and the car broke down and the whole thing, right? Like the life things. And I realized that, as I just started pressing in with God and pressing in, the more he opened doors for me, the more things are happening. It is just unbelievable. And all because I decided that I was going to do what I love, cooking, right? I love cooking. I love coaching. I love doing both so much. And I was leaving my cooking to the side. And I think it's because I was burnt out and tired. Have you guys ever felt like that? Just completely burnt out and tired. And you're just like, I don't even want to do this anymore. And it's not even because you don't want to do it. It's because you're tired. I'm going to pop this into the oven at 425. We're going to leave it going for about 30 minutes or so. We're going to check the potatoes, make sure they're soft. And then we're going to pull them out. While we're waiting on this, I do want to get started on our salad. Okay, so let's plop this in. All right, Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
It's good to have an Alexa in your kitchen so they can help you out. You know what? Instead of cutting and going on, why don't we just go ahead and get going, right? So I want to make a beautiful salad, and I want it to be simple. I don't want it to be complicated. So we're going to just use simple, beautiful ingredients, okay? I already washed my romaine lettuce right here. I love romaine because it's crispy, and I just love the texture of it. But if any lettuce that you want to use is going to be just fine, okay? So I'm going to cut some of this because, you know, my husband is a huge salad fan, right, babe? See? Huge salad fan. And literally, one time he actually put one piece of leaf on his freaking plate and told me that that was his salad for the day. Okay, so, all right. Grabbing a second knife since the other one had beef sausage on it, and I flipped the board. Okay, so now I just want to make sure that you guys know how to really cut without cutting your fingers. So you see how my fingers are in? Your fingers should be in, right? This is just a guide. Now, as I'm cutting, I'm pushing my lettuce together, but I'm pushing my fingers back, all right? Be careful. So many accidents happen in the kitchen because we're not careful about how we're cutting. So sometimes you'll cut like this with a flat hand. There goes your fingers, right? Or you'll cut like that, but you'll leave your pinky and your thumb out. We've all done it. I know I've cut my hand a lot, you know, especially in culinary school, and I've learned my lesson the hard way, put it that way. So I'm going to finish cutting these. Ooh, that fly is getting on my nerves, y'all. He is getting on my nerves. Okay, so we're gonna cut this, and I'm gonna have plenty, right? So this is gonna be enough for me to have tomorrow. So I'm excited about that because, you know, me and my husband have decided that we wanted to go do something that was special. And so we decided to go and donate platelets because a lot of people need it. And, you know, with all of the stuff happening, the floods and people passing away and all of the people that are ill and all that kind of stuff, we decided we wanted to do something that was selfless. And so we're going to go and donate our platelets tomorrow. And it's not tomorrow, Saturday, so 2 days from now. And I'm really excited because I think that, you know, if they can use one platelet and help somebody else, then I've done my part, right? And so if I have plenty of them, why not? And I'm pretty healthy, overweight, but I'm pretty healthy. So, you know, thankfully, you know, God will provide for whoever it is that needs to be provided for. And I'm grateful that my husband and I are usually on the same page about a lot of things, and this is one of them. Okay, so into the salad, what I want to do is I'm going to make like just a very simple lemon vinaigrette. And I'm going to use all the stuff I had in my fridge. I had a little bit of a pepper left over from a meal I made. So I'm going to use that. Okay. And then I'm going to use some lemons. I have some shallots because I want to put some shallots in here. I also have an apple. So I want to put some apple in here. I love apple in my salad. It just gives it a nice sweet taste. And it's also high in fiber, as you guys know. Red peppers are good in vitamin C, right? So this is really going to be good for you. And why are we doing this? Because it's time to take care of you. Now, I don't know how many of you out there want to become chefs or want to start cooking, right? Maybe you don't know how to cook. Maybe you're married and you're afraid that you don't know how to cook yet, and your husband may want you to cook a meal, right? I'm hoping that these recipes will help you just feel more confident. in the kitchen and out of the kitchen, right? Because then you'll see that you can actually create and do things that maybe you didn't do before. And this is super simple. And like I said, you know, working with the people that I've been working with who never knew how to really work in a kitchen, to see them walk away with their diploma and their confidence and getting jobs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it is so rewarding. I mean, to know that you can change somebody's life with something as simple as showing them food and talking to them like the human beings that they are and loving on them. And that's what I want to do with all of you guys, right? Because it's important to me that all of us also just can share with each other. And you know, I want to read your comments. I want to do all of that. I want to really communicate with you in a deeper way. And like I said, I'm also a transformational life coach, right? So maybe you have something that comes up that you want to talk about. Let's talk about it. Okay. I actually have been for a very long time now helping women create coaching businesses. That's what I've been doing. And now I'm getting back into the kitchen, which is what I've always loved. And for a long time, I let other things take that love away from me, right? It's stressful, and you're in the kitchen, it's hustle and bustle, and you know, people are just talking smack, and you're a woman in this industry, and this industry can be very tough for women sometimes. And you know, you start to say, you know, do I really want to keep doing this? And the truth is, yes, but I left it alone for a while because I was burnt out, right? Now I'm back full force. I've already started my paperwork for my kids cooking, which I already have the business, but in a different state. So I'm bringing it here, right? And I'm excited. I am excited because I'm getting back into what God has called me to do a long time ago. And it wasn't until I stopped, paused, and realized that God has been calling me, that's what actually made me really get back into what I'm doing. And I didn't do it for a while. So, you know, I think all of us sometimes have to pause because there's a lot of power in pause. And sometimes we don't realize that. We just think we got to keep hustling and going to the next one and going to the next thing. And no, you actually don't. You actually don't. And I wish that we would do that. Like I had my client called me today and told me that she booked a one-on-one appointment with me for next week because she is ready to come back, because she had paused because she was moving, and you know, her child had to go to college and she was going through a lot of emotions, and she was afraid to tell me that she had to pause. And I'm like, girl, come on, we all gotta pause. I was pausing. I mean, we all pausing, right? So I want you guys to be good to yourself. Just like the salad is going to be good for you, I want you to be good to yourself too. All right. So just pause if you need to pause. Do something that you love, right? This to me is passion. I love this so much. Cooking is something that I do almost every day, right? My husband and I really have decided that we like to eat in because A, it's expensive to eat out, but B, because actually I can control what's in my food, right? I can control what I add and what I don't add, what I like and what I don't like. I control that like you control that. And you can control that in your home. You can control that in your kitchen. And that's why we're here, right? Because this is about being purpose-filled. So this is 1 clove of garlic. I'm just mincing, right? And mincing just means that you keep cutting until it's in really small pieces. Now, if you want it to be a paste, you take your blade and you drag it like that, okay? But I don't need it to be a paste because I don't need it to. I love garlic the way it is. So I'm going to take this, pop it in here. All right, this is the lemon juice. So you got 1 lemon, okay? 1 lemon. You have garlic. I'm going to do about 1/4 cup or so of olive oil, right? This is a light olive oil, but you can use an extra virgin, right? So that goes in here. I am going to then use a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm not going to go crazy. I mean, literally, that's all I'm going to put in here. I don't think I wanted to put anything else. Nope. Nope. Awesome sauce. Okay, this is going to, now you can of course add something. If you want something a little bit sweeter, you can add a little touch of honey, monk fruit, sugar, whatever. I'm not, because me and my husband are trying to get away from sugar, and I'm a sugar addict, right? So any little bit of sugar sets me off into a whirlwind of eating sugar, and I don't want to do that. All right, so we're gonna shake this, shake this, shake this. You can do this in a mason jar. You can do this by hand, whatever you want. I just want to make sure this is what I want. Got to make sure the salt is, that's all I need. It's good. All right, that's all we need. Done. Okay, now what I want to do is cut the apple, because I forgot to cut it. I usually leave the apple for last, only because I do not want it to brown. But, oh, I forgot about the tomatoes and the shallots. What? Surprise! All right, let's do it. Grape tomatoes, cut right in half. Look at that. Beautiful. The dressing was easy, right? So if the dressing is so easy, my husband's trying to sneak a snack. I heard him. Did y'all hear that? I heard him. So we're gonna put the tomatoes in here. Babe, you want to come on camera? That's what I thought. Okay, you have to ask, right? Okay, I want to do some shallots. I hear you. I hear you. All right, we're gonna cut this. You know, I think a lot about my life and the things I've been through, and I think sometimes when I'm doing these kind of things and talking to you guys and cooking in the kitchen, because this is like therapy for me. So I love cooking, I love baking, right? I've done cakes and all kinds of stuff, and what I love the most is when I think about what I've been through and how I'm so different than I used to be. You know, I was in medical for 15 years, right? And I never thought that I would be in front of a camera all the time, in my podcast, in my coaching, in my cooking, teaching courses on cooking, like all of this amazing stuff that I'm just like, wow, God really can use whatever you think he cannot use. So I really want to encourage you guys that if you're thinking, oh, but I can't do that, or I don't know how. I didn't know how either. So do it anyway. Do it afraid. Do the best you can and go for it, right? This is simple. This is a simple salad because life needs to be simple. It doesn't have to be complicated all the time, right? So we're going to clean up here because I made more of a mess than I ever like to make. Oh, apple. See y'all? I'm so concerned about talking to you guys to encourage you that I'm not cooking for my hubby. Okay, so I already washed my apple. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut them into slices, and then I'm gonna cut these slices into a dice. That's all I'm doing. Babe, you picked good apples. Thank you. All right, just like that. Nothing fancy. I love apples. He loves apples. Sometimes we'll sit there and we'll be watching, like, I don't know, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or something. And then we will just literally eat an apple and have a bowl of peanut butter. And that's all we'll have. And it's so good. All right. We are going to pause right here. I'm going to clean up. Coming up, we're going to serve the salad, and we're going to serve the potatoes and sausage. All right, I'll see you in a few. All right, y'all. Y'all can leave it in if you want a little bit longer, but I think it's ready, and the potatoes are soft. So we're just going to go with that. But I am excited to have dinner and sit down and just watch a little TV with hubby. He's had a really long day at work, running a bunch of projects. So I'm excited to just hang out with the guy. He's an amazing dude. Okay, so, when I thought about today, and I was spending time with God today, a lot of time with God outside, and just just loving every moment that I spend with him. I made this journal. If you guys want to check it out, you can go to shop.neenaperez.com, and it's a journal to make God your CEO. And it has been so rewarding because it actually gives you prompts and divine insights and stuff on the Word of God. And it's been so beautiful. And I hope that you guys enjoy it as much as I do. So I thought about what can I do today that can give us all a fresh start? And that's what made me think of a salad, something fresh and crisp. And we're getting into summer and it's absolutely amazing. And God just gives us a fresh start. And it inspired, I was reading Isaiah 43:19, where it says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing." And that's what made me think of this, because I realized that a lot of us are really going through some heavy things and we need a fresh start. Like, we need a fresh start, right? And so I wanted to make something that's going to be simple and good and inspiring, and also feed your soul, feed your mind, right? And so all I did was a nice light lemon dressing, all right? And I put a little bit of blue cheese because I had some left over and I didn't want it to go to waste. And then some onions, garlic, potatoes, sausage. It is beautiful. It is balanced. It is great. And I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do, because all things work together for good for those who love God. And that's what made me think of this beautiful dish, because I'm like, what do I have in the fridge? I can't go to the store right now, so what do I have? Well, you have sausage, you have potatoes, you have garlic, you have onions. All right, let's put that together, because all things work together for good. So guys, thank you guys for hanging out at the Purpose-Filled Kitchen. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate all the love and the comments and everything else. So please go ahead and comment if you want me to do something different, if there's something that you'd like me to add. Is there a recipe that you've been wanting to learn how to do and you would like me to show you how to do that? Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Until the next time, we're gonna go get some food and some movies. Bye, y'all.